Blog Talk Radio.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thuggin' like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dog Pound Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Black.
Yo, check this out. This is your girl, Cola Vogue, and I'm chilling with my boys right here on Off the Cuff Radio. Cause we off the cuff right now. You dig?
Bet. What's up? It's your boy Lil Yap from UNLV, bragging up from the river, cooling with my homies and my family at Off the Cuff Radio. Y'all be sure to tune in on Fridays and get the latest scoop and find out what's happening. You heard me?
Tiffany Lavon.
And it's Queen Crazy, your girl's favorite bartender.
And we're from
Sex on the Rocks podcast.
Alright, you're now tuning in to Off the Cuff Radio.
Yeah, because they keep representing that real hip-hop. Well, much love.
Alright.
Y'all, this is Miss Irresistible, giving a shout out to the livest show on Friday nights Off the Cuff Radio. And I'm live from the 704. Make sure y'all tune in for the blazing hot music.
Hey y'all, this is Stacey Lachey, giving a shout out to King Eric and Off the Cuff Radio.
What's shaking, y'all? This is the Grand, one half of Lost Cause and 1/3 of that drive time thing. Sending my love to the homies over at Off the Cuff Radio. Tune in every Friday night for some real deal hip-hop conversation. These dudes are the connoisseurs of this thing. You already know what it is. BX Stand Up, HUD City, we're shaking. Peace.
Yo, this is Dope Fresh to Dine, and y'all tuned in to the most raw, uncut show on radio, the Guillotine Team, Off the Cuff, and yo, Eric, Sandman, off of these clowns' heads.
Like a fool, lit up like a fuse, lit like a fool, lit up like a fuse, lit like a fool, lit up like a fuse, lit up like a fool, drip like a fool, I dig. I don't quit. I'm inspired by my chick, she super big. Like a bitch, a magnifique. And I call you majestic. Ain't no shit, ain't no sucker, ain't no buster, ain't no bitch, ain't no hoe. I got soul, I got flow, and I'm rich. Yeah, the money so attracted to me, call me magnetic. And my energy so positive, it's so electric. Lit like a fool, lit up like a fuse. Lit like a fool, lit up like a fuse. Lit like a fool, lit up like a fuse. Lit like a fool, lit like a fool. Lit like a fool, lit up like a fuse. Lit like a fool, lit up like a fuse. Lit like a fool, lit up like a fuse. Lit like a fool, lit like a fool.
there's no love up in the nigga when I'm creeping for a killing. With the bitches lips and I can click for the bitches with no patience. So can I make this wicked like this? From the books up to your grades, bullets spray. Ripping and dripping the homo, get and want to straight. Bitches killer, Scan-man, I let some bitches get from horror. Other folks that says I told you sufferer. In them chambers, the morning, they're crying. Cause eternally they torment, they're burning. In the bottom of my feet. I read it back up on you niggas with quick just like the heat, but they hit my mess up with the ever power to devour you bitches to burn in hell. I'm kicking with madness from the strippers to killer demons. The anger that's in me, it's got me spitting bitches prayers, man. I'm looking up, creeping, here comes the Scan-man. Sneaking in to drop a missing bomb and leave bodies in the slums. I kill like a massacre, leaving the bitches around them ditches. One bitches, some demons split on pieces, then they rip them in pieces. No love, bitch.
It is MC Mack with the click, the killer clan, you know what I'm saying? Coming at your ass for the 9-6, my nigga Kayyos and Scan-man, and I'm about this bitch hoe.
Yo, what it do, y'all? This your boy King Ed the Great, and you're now tuned in at episode 320 at the livest hip-hop show on Friday nights. Off the Cuff Radio, baby. We got a big show lined up, man. Sponsored by Buddy Boy Entertainment. Big shout out to the homie Cocaine. Big shout out to Rosset. You can check his album out called Politics as Usual. Sponsored by Core Financial, Jesse's Boutiques. Man, and I got my host in the building, T Max with the facts.
What it do? Friday night, fun day, OTC up in the building. It's a place to be. Shout out to our co-host and spirit, a lot of Sandman, Lady Chinchilla, So Trilla. Yeah, man, and King, we not only got... It's a big show
because I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. Now, matter of fact, I'm going to say 3 reasons. Number 1,
yeah,
my birthday is next week. That's number 1. Number 2, I think we got Illa the Sandman on the line.
Okay.
I'm going to try to bring him on.
2, 1, 2. Uh-oh,
there
1, 2, 1, 2.
There he is. He's here.
I'm here, B, with the brethren once again. What's going on, y'all? And my dude, birthdays are... Let me find out, you about to be what? You about to be 12, teen? I knew it.
Hey, man, I got to be like Fabulous. I got to keep it young, man. I got to lie about my age, man.
But, you know, what day it falls on? Next week when?
So the 21st, on a Tuesday.
Oh, so that's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So if I don't say happy birthday to you then, I'm going to say happy birthday to you now, my dude. Happy birthday, B. Word up. I wish I could, you know... I wish I could take you to the bar. We can have a few drinks.
COVID proof, baby. Now, I think we got my man on Sage McKenzie. I think we got the OTG on the line.
Okay. Sage, you there?
Because the New York area code. Well, I'm going to try to bring them back, but nevertheless, this is a special show right here, man. This is a special show right here because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give y'all the breakdown. I got to give these guys the proper intro.
Yeah,
these guys right here been putting it down in the M-Town for almost 25 to 30-plus years, rocking with the 3 6 Mafia, known as the Prophet Posse. And they still never compromised their sound. They always kept it gutter. They always kept it hood. And with their new single, We Lit, they still bringing that crunk energy back. So, without further ado, MC Mack, Scan-man, Total Chaos, the Kaze Inc is in the building, y'all. M-Town, New York, North Carolina, stand up.
What it do? What's happening?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Mack, what it do, fam?
How y'all?
Oh, man, we good, man. Living. We good. How y'all doing? Day above ground was a good day.
Yes, it is. Look, I mean, man, we we got the entire trio, the trinity of living legends on the air, man. This is like momentous. This is like, this is major, man.
Appreciate it, homie. Appreciate it.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, we got all three. Feel free to introduce y'all, man, so for everybody to get familiar, like one by one.
Well, yo, this is MC Mack, you know what I'm saying? Killer Clan, Kamikaze, man. Memphis Spiders, man. Repping that KKZ. MC.
Scan-man and Nephilim. Always keeping it raw, baby.
What's his name again? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. What was your name again?
Scan-man and Nephilim, baby.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you said Sand-man. Okay.
You don't know the man's name.
All right.
Now he thought his name was Sandman. His name, because our host is Sandman, so he thought we had two identical names.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, man, we happy to have you guys on. It's been a privilege to have you guys on the line with to chop it up with us, the OTG, the Off the Cuff team. So tell us what's been going on with y'all for the year so far. What y'all got in store?
Well, right now, man, we got this new Kaze Inc album we coming out with. We just dropped a new single, We Listen. We got the video coming up next. We got a couple more acts we got coming out. We got a lot of little big things we got working on that's really coming up for 2021. You know what I'm saying? 20 was just a building year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're looking out for that new album from Kaze Inc called entitled Spirit Wind. The new hit single We Lit just dropped. Be looking out for the video coming up.
Okay. Definitely. And one thing about
I'm going to do this here.
Go ahead,
we're going to have a lot of people on the line. How I'm going to do this here is when I'm going to take, everybody going to take a turn, me, T-Max, and Sandman, we're going to take turns asking questions so that way we can get it fluid. And I don't want, Blog Talk to really be tripping and throw anybody off the air. So, T-Man, you shoot your shot, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Y'all can direct it whoever y'all want to direct them to. You feel that?
Definitely, gentlemen. First and foremost, once again, great to have you with us. It's an honor and a privilege.
No doubt, appreciate it.
Now, you all, as King said, I mean, you guys have such an illustrious and distinguished history. I mean, before Yo Gotti, before Young Dolph, you 3-6, you were the guys who really, along with Al Capone, Pistol, of course, way back in the day, you all were like one of the first, you all laid it down for M-Town to like really make their move and in the hip hop circles. Tell us what was it like for your beginnings in terms of, who inspired you and how you all came together as a unit and when you all decided that you wanted to make music your career.
Well, shit. Oh, man. As for inspiration, man, I come up from the old school of hip-hop, man, starting off as a fan of rap music and hip-hop and gangster rap in general, man. I was also inspired by the old school vets, man, like Too Short, NWA, you know what I mean? Ice Cube, Public Enemy, Run DMC, and Cool J, of course. And, you know what I'm saying? Old school hip hop. I just got into music for the love of music, man. So just that passion of having an art, being able to express myself, in front of my peers and get a cool response was the coolest thing ever to me. You know what I'm saying? That's been got me inspired to do rap music. You know what I mean?
Definitely. For far as me, pretty much the same thing like Max said. I think everybody pretty much gonna name the NWAs and the Tupacs and all those people. All those people laid down a bunch of foundations for us to do what we doing today. So you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the same thing like Max said, man. Just to get in front of the fans and entertain them, and they love what you're doing. It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, man. Okay, all right, so in terms of that, I mean, and what was it like in terms of like the hip hop scene in Memphis? I mean, was there really one before you all stepped up to really like make your mark in the game? You know, because I mean, your hit, what you have out there is so legendary. I mean, you have some of the great legendary athletes, of course, like Lorenzen Wright, rest in peace, Penny Hardaway, of course, Elvis, you know, from out of there. So you all already, you know, have like such a rich tradition from athletics to music. What was it like in the beginning in terms of like, was there really a hip hop scene brewing, or were you all like the first to really go out there and like really, you know, forge a path for it?
Nah, we weren't the first because you know you had folks like DJ P-Law, rest in peace. You know you had Gangsta Pat, you know Scarface Al Capone. You know what I'm saying, Homicide. You know we had a lot of people in the underground city of Memphis who didn't get a shot, who played a major role in a lot of Memphis sounds. You know what I'm saying, before you know 3 6 and us. So you know what I'm saying, we got to pay homage to them folks too. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And pretty much as you all, you know, go ahead, King.
Yeah, and in terms of establishing that Memphis sound, because it's very trademark at this point. You see a lot of the new acts pretty much using it in a way. So it's pretty cool to see the Memphis sound really cross it over into different layers.
I love it.
Right.
Yeah, you know, most
sound still today you hear you know that disclaimer and everything down there, you know what I'm saying? Even in Hamlet, the play that cat's using that chopping flow, even plays like the Hamlet, you know, like fucking
I think your phone breaking up a little bit, my man.
Your phone breaking up, man.
Yeah, I can imagine. Let me see.
Okay, we good, everybody?
Let me get in a better spot. How about now? Yeah.
Okay.
How about now?
Yeah, it's gonna happen from time to time because you know we got a lot of people on the line, so we just gotta, you know, we'll make it work. We professionals.
We're gonna make it do what it do.
For sure.
But yeah, we were talking about that Memphis sound because it's crazy how it's really taken off on a life of its own, like close to 25 years later, because, which follows me to ask y'all this question here. Did you guys kind of have like a struggle in getting that recognition from different regions, like getting that type of respect?
Hell yeah, it was a main ass struggle because, you know what I'm saying, as far like back when we was doing it, back coming up in, you know, 90, 96, 97, 98, even a little bit of 2000s and shit, early 2000s. You know, East Coast only played East Coast, West Coast only played West Coast, South only played South shit. So it was a major struggle, you know, getting played up there in the East. But once everybody started finally catching on to our sound and shit, you know, it just took off.
Like wildfire. Shit. You know.
Hey, Sam, are you there?
Sorry, somebody's passing in the background. I'm here. I'm listening to you.
Okay.
Somebody was passing in the background. He said, "Close the door."
Okay, T-Max, you there?
How was it?
How
was it like working on you guys? How was it like working on you guys' first album? You know, talk to us about that.
Oh man, the Kaze Time's Up, I think was our first album. You know, and yeah, we recorded that joint like almost in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? At Cotton Studios with the production of Paul and Juicy and a couple other engineers and producers on deck, you know what I'm saying? And we pretty much recorded all 1 week and almost mixed the next week, man, and we had that album completed within almost 2.5 weeks.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, man. Take all day working on albums back then, man. We got it, man. We got in and put our work in and got the hell up out there, motherfucker.
So you already had y'all.
What was it like
music
in terms of
ready?
like getting into the studio for the first time, realizing you all were really about to realize a dream in terms of really not only being able to rhyme in there, but actually getting a record out to the masses that would be heard. Did you all know what was ahead in terms of what you all were going to eventually, come with that was going to become legendary status?
I didn't know. I just know it was bumping like a mother. So we pretty much had the city during the time because the Kaze album came out after several projects that we were featured on with 3-6 Mafia, Project Pat, Gangsta Blues, Indo G's, even through the cassette tape days, you know what I mean? So the sound was pretty much already established. I didn't ever think it was going to be, go down as legendary as they call us. But, yeah, we knew we had some bump, you know what I'm saying? Knew we had some dope material. And it was awesome times working on it, you know what I mean?
Going back to when I first heard you guys, because going back to where, especially out here, the East Coast and the Carolinas, man, it's like it's a mixture of a bit Southern appreciation, but it's more so up north appreciation. Because I remember when I brought Mystic Styles to the table, cats used to clown and everything. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of crazy how soon as you guys found y'all niche in the game, everybody wanted to follow suit and, support y'all. And that track that we just played before we brought you on the air, Be a Witness, that joint went hard as hell.
Oh, yeah, that joint right there, we tore up the club with that motherfucker joint right there.
Look, y'all was doing crunk before everybody knew what crunk was.
Yeah,
what was the most craziest thing that happened in the club while y'all performed that track? What's the craziest thing y'all can remember that happened?
Mine got to fight with the club in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and got arrested. So mine caught the police and everything down there.
Yeah, that was just one.
Did you have like TV4?
That I can remember one of them.
TV4 style?
Yeah, man. Shit, I remember a night at Rob's, at the club at Rob's out in Fraser. We performed that jump one night, man. Shit, the club got real wild. They tore the club up and shot the club up out in the parking lot.
Oh my!
That night.
Oh whoa!
Oh yeah, I remember that night.
Yeah, it was a long shootout that night. Remember that jump scan? And that fool was shooting out there for about 5-10 minutes, man. I ain't think the fool gonna ever run out of ammunition.
That jump like fireworks show, man.
Right, I swear.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Out of here.
Now,
That's
one
crazy.
thing about
That is crazy.
Now, one thing about it, y'all, is Memphis, because you all not only coming from out of there really introduced people to a sound. How, but tell us about, the areas that really kind of molded you all, because out there, you got Fraser, you got Ridgecrest, you got McMillan Street, tell us about those areas out there in terms of, how really, what really be going on out there. And Castilia. Can't forget Castilia.
I mean, the streets help make our sound, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we was out there in the streets in all these different areas. We just wasn't locked down to no one specific area, especially me. You know what I'm talking about? Span speaking. I was in every hood, man. I was with them in every hood because I was a cool nigga, so I had no problems and shit with niggas and shit. So, the streets kind of made our sound because we always stuck with the streets. We always had folks that was in the street that was always like, look, man, y'all need to do this. Y'all need to do that. So it wasn't just us. You know what I'm talking about? Man, the streets played a major role into helping make our sound too as well.
And how big was it for you all in terms of getting that street support? Because they say, we always talk about this on the show. Shout out to Dr. Dre, and Game. I watched the Compton documentary years ago and Kendrick 2 on A&E, and they were talking about how Game got on, in terms of when Dre just happened to hear his mixtape, and one of Dre sent one of his people out to bring Game back to the studio, and he sat down with him. So he asked Game about, is your hood fucking with you? And Game was like, yeah, they fucking with me. And Dre was like, good, because if your hood don't fuck with you, the world won't fuck with you. What was it like getting that groundswell? Yeah. Yeah. What was that? What was it like getting that groundswell support in terms of getting, all the blocks, behind y'all to really help push y'all ahead and, really just, being that pillar of support, pushing y'all?
Yeah, well, this MC Mack, I started, man, like I said, the cassette tape days. And I was doing the cassette tapes in high school. I knew my partners were filling my tapes, man, and started buying my cassette tapes. I knew I had the support of the hood. I would go then, man, and click with Juice and start making other cassette tapes and distribute them just to the stereo stores. And when a nigga people was going off, and they were like, man, bring me 20 more tapes here. Bring me 20 more tapes here. Oh, I knew the streets was messing with it. You know what I'm saying? Which and people was ringing, man.
And I'm glad you brought that up, too. Like, talk to the people out there, especially when it comes to our young audience. Because, at those times it was different than how it is nowadays. Like, when it comes to you promoting and selling your music, all you had to do was just, like nowadays, all you got to do is just sit in your house and make it happen. And, like, around your time, you really had to go around to clubs or the corner and, let people know the difference between now and then.
Yeah, for sure.
We actually had to get out and meet the consumer. You know what I'm talking about? You couldn't just sit back and just hope somebody hear your shit. No, you had to get out. You had to talk to folks. You had to bug folks. You had to have motherfuckers take your tape and throw that motherfucker on the ground, take the fly and throw that motherfucker out the window and say it's a piece of shit. You had to go through that kind of shit. Nowadays, motherfuckers just type comments on the little computer, but that ain't shit when you read a comment. But when a motherfucker takes it to your face and you see a motherfucker throw your shit down, that's a reality check. You know what I'm saying? So back in the day, that's why we respect where we at now in our careers, because where we had to come from to get where we at now.
Yeah.
That shit wasn't easy. That shit, man, I'm talking about at the trunk. Right at the trunk.
Yeah, they would do that right in front of your face, though. Like, they would sit there, they would do that right in front of your face, like, oh, get this kamikaze shit out. I don't want to hear this shit. And they just throw it out there right in front of your guys.
Well, look, I remember one particular we was in Florida when they used to have the black beach in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like the Freakniks and all that. We used to be out there with the tapes and the flyers. And we'd have half the pick one walk on one side of the street, the other half picking up the flyers on the other side of the street that we just walk past. You know that we gonna recoup it, pick them up and pass them out again. That didn't stop no show though. You did. No, we had a plan. We had a real strategic marketing promotion plan with our crew. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what's wild about that time period too, especially with the South, because I would tell any artist that if you can make it at the South, you can make it anywhere, because you ain't have like a Sony or you ain't had a Capitol, not down here, because you go up north, you go to LA, you got all these labels pretty much around the corner. You had to literally hit the streets, you had to literally hit the club, everywhere.
But not only that, I think the South, they stick together more than anywhere else. Like when it comes to the South, y'all really stick up. Y'all really live by that Southern hospitality. I might be wrong. I don't know, but from like the outside looking in, that's how it seems. Other than like you being in the East Coast or whatever, where they think everybody's competition.
I mean, it ain't no different. You know what I'm talking about? It's just different players playing the game. That's all it is. And playing it just a little bit different. But it's all the same shit down here. Niggas in competition, and niggas ain't trying to. If somebody hear about somebody giving out some money, they don't want to tell the next person about the person giving out the money, free money here or whatever. It's the same way, bro. The same way. Ain't no difference.
Man, it's a worldwide thing. It's just that the South, we know how to camouflage it a little better, but it's everywhere, basically.
The haters are everywhere.
Man, they crawling everywhere. Multiplying like a motherfucker.
Damn.
Don't let DJ Khaled fool you.
And I always believe, man, if he can make it happen, if he can bring everybody together Anybody should be able to do that. That's my thoughts. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's no money out
but
there.
You know,
yeah.
But you know, one thing about
Go ahead, T-Mac.
you all, but it's one thing. You know, one thing about y'all to listening to the fondness of how you all reminisce on those days. It really, really is a testament to how you all really, you didn't let the struggle break y'all down, and you kept your head up and upright no matter what obstacles were thrown in y'all way in terms of really knowing what y'all had was special and being able to push. You know, some artists, always get on, some artists get discouraged and some even get bitter saying, well, fuck it, succeed. And I don't hear any of that with you all. How did you all manage to keep such an optimistic, and positive vibe throughout those trials and tribulations? Because, for like Sandman, not always that easy in terms of trying to get out there, making it.
Right. Oh yeah. You definitely gotta have the willpower and the strength to persevere, man. You know what I'm saying, in the music industry. Because there's gonna be ups and downs in the music industry. Or even, in your personal life, it may distract you where you can't do music, like you ain't as focused. But if you really believe in your talent and that's what you want to do, and that's what you enjoy doing, then that's gonna succeed as anything that's gonna stop you from achieving that goal. With me, you know what I'm saying? And you just keep striving, man. Music was always an outlet to me. You know what I'm saying? Whether, I was going through some of my personal life, I would go to music, and it would ease the pain, or it would, allow me to speak about it, and I feel a little bit better after it, you know what I'm saying? I created some, or making tracks, or whether it's writing, you know what I mean? Just something else to take your mind away from the bullshit. And that's what really kept me going, man, to push all these albums and keep me busy, you know what I mean?
Right. And around this time, too, this is where, you had this other group, that was, really making some noise. And to piggyback off what King said earlier, they even had gotten into it with Bone Thugs for a second, and we're talking about 3 6 Mafia, about how they with Bone Thugs about, when they had their song, Mystic Styles, they were talking about live by your rep, and they were using Bone to bite in their style. So that's to basically, right on what King was saying about how your style really was taking off even back then. What was it like you meeting all those guys? Pat, Paul, everybody, Lord Infamous.
Koopsta.
Koopsta
too, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, like back then we was all kids, so didn't nobody had no name for themselves. So, shit, we was all kids trying to achieve the same goals. So, as far as like relationships with them, we got a cool, good relationship. The relationship was cool and good. We all kicked it, had fun. A lot of memories. Especially with me and Coop. Rest in peace, Coop. Rest in peace, Lord.
Right.
Lord
definitely
down to earth cat. You know what I'm saying? Always got some some words of wisdom for you. You know what I'm talking about? Lord, I always had some words of wisdom for you. Coop, just wild. Coop was just Coop. Crunchy, Crunchy. That's my homie. Crunchy. Boo, everybody. It was all cool. It was all good.
Yeah, man.
And keep the same go.
We all had cool relationships with each other, man. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of fun times, man. In and out the studio.
Man.
You guys cranked out so much material. Do you think there's some unreleased albums left in that vault? Because we always talk about the Dr. Dre vault, the Prince vault, but I'm curious to know, you think you guys have some unreleased albums in that Hypnotized Mind vault?
It's a lot of shit. Look, one thing I can say about Paul and Juicy, them motherfuckers work. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas in the studio every single day. We was working. That's a lot of unreleased shit. I don't know if they'll ever release the shit or what they'll do with this shit, but there's a lot of unreleased material though. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit y'all.
Well, hold on. I wanted to.
Go ahead.
I didn't want to sway too far away from because they brought up Lord Infamous and Koopsta. What was your memorable moments? Since you say Koopsta was a wild, wild and all that. What's some moments you could tell us about, Lord Infamous and Koopsta? If y'all could say any moments that y'all had with these guys.
Well, I got a story with MC Mack. I got a story for Koopsta. I was you were getting ready to record.
Yeah,
I was my hustle. And we went and we were both on our independent tip then. I think he was working on his independent stuff. I was trying to get him a feature on my album since he was going independent at that time. You know what I'm saying? And we stopped getting ready to go to the studio. And we was making all our rounds before we get to the studio, right? So we stopped at the liquor store, the same liquor store, probably about 2 or 3 times before we went to the studio. And we was over there on the mark somewhere. And I said, let's go to the police and put that down. Yeah, man, we Mafia, man. Don't give a fuck about the police, man. They might just hit it, pull this Amsterdam up and hit that stuff. And they're like, prove you out. That was just coop though. You know what I'm saying? I always remember that. He pulled up his Amsterdam and hit that Jonathan.
How much y'all went to that liquor store? Like y'all had to go back and forth to the liquor store?
Yeah, man. I got half a pint and be back with it. About a couple minutes later, get another half a pint.
Might as well got a whole gallon. Like I keep going back and forth, get the whhole gallon, get it over with. Like.
Yeah.
What was y'all sipping on?
Should have. Yep, Amsterdam that day.
Oh wow.
Yep, we was on that Amsterdam that day, among other things.
Oh no! Don't tell me y'all was mixing the clear with the dark. Y'all had to clear with the dark.
Yep. Clear with the clear. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I got it.
What about Infamous though? Hold on, see man. Like, cause that was a Koopsta story. What about Infamous? Y'all got any stories about Lord Infamous? Any memorable moments about him?
I'm gonna let Scan tell you about some Infamous moments.
My Lord Infamous had a real big thing on. He'll get high, or we'll get high, as I may say. He'll get high, and the mine will go down a 45 mile per hour street going about 85, 90. And we'll just be sitting there, and we'll be laughing and just having fun the whole time while he doing it. Crazy shit like that.
Man.
Lord, wow.
Them boys is crazy.
Yeah, Lord, wow, man.
But man, that's what was definitely a big loss, man, because especially to the South scene when those two went away, because they were very much pioneers heavily to that 3-6 sound.
Yeah, right. and very underrated too.
Yep.
Very underrated too.
Now, one thing about it is they said King was saying about the unreleased material, because all y'all were like recording. I'm gonna hit y'all like Tavis Smiley hit the late great Prince years ago in an interview, where he asked Prince how many songs did he have in the vault that he hadn't had released. How many songs do y'all estimate that y'all have that hasn't been released yet?
Man, I can't even.
Just give a number.
I still got recordings out there, man, that was never released. And my partner, let me hear I was like, wow, I hadn't heard them since I recorded them. It never came out. This is on 4 tracks. So wow. I couldn't estimate how many songs are out there. You know what I mean? I'm talking about some hard material wrapped over off a Boss drum machine. Boss drum machine. So,
I would say over 1,000.
Yep.
Oh wow!
A bunch of recordings out there.
I would say we'll clear 1,000 real easy.
And that's just a conservative number.
Yep. It's just over the years.
Oh man.
That's that heavy groundwork right there.
Definitely. How did y'all manage to maintain the energy? I mean, in terms of just being able to do that much, and still have the energy going forward to this day, in terms of just having that enthusiasm, that creative juice flowing, and just the camaraderie maintained, to just keep, churning out, material.
It's like that old saying, if you're doing something you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And I really believe in it. what I'm saying? Because one thing about it,
I completely agree.
Y'all love doing music. You know what I'm saying? Then the fans always ask for it, so you can't just leave them disappointed. So the fans want it, we got to give them what they want. So it must be appealing to somebody. They still asking for it, so you know what I mean?
Yeah, we got power. My mind is feel.
What's the most craziest fan y'all bumped into?
Man, because I'm my biggest fan, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, man, if I don't dig my work, ain't nobody else gonna dig my work, you know? So
right. Yeah, you're right. You damn right. Now, speaking of fans, like, what's the most craziest fan you ever encountered?
Man, I had a wild chick, man. You know what I'm saying? This chick was wild, man. You know what I'm saying? She was hot, though. You know what I'm saying? She was so hot, I saw her pull a bluebird out the ground using the oven mitt.
I had that one guy, man. I was walking through the mall one time. The guy had recognized me. He was like, scan. He like, man, I'm taking a picture with you. I said, all right, that's cool. You know, and they was like right when like cell phones and cameras and shit just started coming out, but he ain't had one. And you know the little photo booths and shit they be inside the mall. The photo booth and him and take a picture with him in the photo booth.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a little questionable.
I said, look,
y'all man clothes, y'all that little ass booth, man clothes.
Like, I can't get in the photo booth with you, dog.
Got to be crazy.
He's a good fan of my music, man. I can't get in the photo booth with you, dog. I can't get y'all with the photo booth.
Kamikaze don't do that change.
Yeah, nah, man, you jaw with a motherfucker on that photo booth, man, in the mall, man. Here you go, man. Hey, follow me to the car, give you a CD.
For real. I do say that.
But y'all fans, man, y'all had the Memphis fans that, you know, the people that go to y'all shows, man. I swear I be seeing some of the wildest stuff happening. I be seeing cats get body slammed into the crowd, and this be like a straight up rock show.
Man, look,
fucking hardcore match going on over there.
I'm trying to tell you, you come to one of our show, don't come fresh. Don't wait to get
your dress thrown on you. You to get stomped on.
Oh man!
Like, look, where your work clothes?
I can shoot y'all here because I can shoot y'all here because I remember when I think Juicy or Paul they was doing a show out here in Charlotte, and they even told me, man, don't come in there with your button up. You better come in with some jeans and a t-shirt because you're gonna get booked.
Yeah.
I had my polo on and my button up and everything. They was like, man, you better change that.
Don't have no jewelry. A bunch of chains. Got to put the chains in to get buck wild, man, to get in that gangster walk line. Chains and jewelry, man. Woo.
Been lost in it.
Because when you go to these Memphis style rap shows, you gonna see mosh pitting, you gonna see body slams, all that stuff. But the energy is always lit for 2 straight hours.
Man, we gonna entertain. That's what it's called, entertainment. We there to entertain, man. You there to have a good time. You spend your money, you gotta let your money work.
Let me ask you guys a 2-part question. Speaking of your shows, what's the best venue you guys performed at? What's the worst venue you guys performed at, and why?
You want to have that?
Man, that's a hard one right there. To be honest with you, man, I can't remember half the damn shows I done did.
What's the first thing that come to mind? Best or worst one, it don't matter. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I remember doing a show back in the days, like when we were promoting the Funky Town song. You know that song Funky Town, and I think
of course.
What album was that? The End. The
What you take me to?
Their first End album. and we did a show at Neon Moon, man. And that's when Prophet Posse and Reese's Mafia was really, I wouldn't say, sound was really spreading to other races, you know what I'm saying? It was a primarily white club. And we did a show after the show, man. They were chasing us like the fucking Beatles, yo. You know what I'm saying? They went to the cars and shit. I remember that. He was like, I was like, load them girls up in my car. Load them up, man. Let them in. Leaving the club, my cop packed in like sardines, headed to the room or the next spot. You know what I'm saying?
We had about 10 carloads following us, man. The whole followed us out the damn place that night.
Yeah, man.
That's that rock star shit right there.
Yeah, and that was just the beginning. That was just the beginning.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, I wish I was talking about, man. It went to jail. That's probably our worst show.
Yeah. I guess that sums it up. Yeah, that should be the worst one. Yeah. But why did they can y'all talk about that? Why did they take you out of jail? Can y'all talk about that?
Yeah, man. So dude got beat up real bad. You know what I'm saying? We was already maybe 5 or 6 cars deep at the show, so the police wanted to target my car and me, Scan, and my homie. They thought we had the pistol in our car, which was really a car club. You know, those car clubs used to have 2 pieces. One was shiny and metal. And he thought the metal was a pistol, so he came for freeze, get out of the car, get on the track, get on the track. Oh, wait, hold on, dog. I barely got a kick in on dude. What the fuck? Get out of the car. And they took us down for some bullshit, really, you know what I'm saying? But all they wanted was some money. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to extort a nigga out there. You know what I'm saying?
It was a shakedown. It was a shakedown. That's crazy.
Man. Now, like Sandman said, in terms of the venues, in terms of the best and worst, what was it like actually doing your first show? And how do you think, and how do you feel about artists in terms of how today, a lot of times, maybe the stage shows, for some, not all, because some artists do a hell of a stage show. But what was it like for y'all and just really getting, how important is it to really have it together in terms of having a set playlist, knowing your lyrics, just having, being able to do your ad-libs, following each other on instinct and cues. What was it like preparing, and what's it like ever since?
I mean, that's very important, you know what I'm talking about, because if you ain't got your show set in order, then, you can't keep the crowd engaged into the show. You got to have your show set together. But a lot of our shows back in the day, you know what I'm saying, that was a different time, you know what I'm talking about. Back then, our music, it spoke for itself back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
We get up there on the stage, we get to rapping, and the shit we get to talking about, the beat going, the crowd just get into it before we even start getting into this shit. We like, damn, we look around next day, we know we got to stop the show because somebody done got the fighting out there in the crowd or some bullshit like this.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? But every night was always a challenge. It was always something new. It was always something special because it was different. It was different city, a different makeup of the crowd. So, you know what I'm saying? All this, I just say it was special to me, man.
Yeah, and we used to always do sound checks too. You know what I'm saying? So we did do sound checks and rehearse before we actually, just jumped out there a lot of times. So we had to have the stuff queued up right. You know what I mean? Had to have the sound right. Had to have the mics right. Stuff like that.
Definitely. How do you feel about a lot of the artists that have come along, since that way? Because, I mean, you all, of course, laid the foundation, but, of course, you got guys like, Gotti, Dolph, Frazier Boy. I think Haystack is from there as well. Black and white.
Nashville.
Lil White, Nashville, all over, all over from Memphis to Nashville. How how do you feel about that influence and just seeing, that tree that y'all planted expand its roots and limbs out, in terms of just carrying on tradition?
Oh man, I like it, man. I think me and Scan was grinding with Gotti when Gotti was building his label up. You know, when we was first getting hot in Memphis, we was just We was out promoting with that at certain events, building the Kamikaze label name up during that time. You know, when we were separate from Paul and Jay. You know, so I expect it. I respect everybody grind, man. Anybody that's out here doing the music thing, man, from Memphis or Tennessee, who's excelling and doing their thing, man, much love, and I enjoy it, man. I enjoy to see hip-hop evolve, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate the youth. I ain't one of these older rappers that say, oh, man, these young cats, woo, woo, woo. No, do their thing. Sample me a couple of times. You know what I mean? You know, so that's what's up, you know. Hip-hop always evolved, man. It didn't sound the same when we were younger. It's not going to sound the same 10, 15 years from – well, Memphis sound may still be influenced somewhere down the line, but it's going to be younger, you know, a younger crowd or a younger artist that's just contributing to hip-hop, which is cool, man. As long as it keeps evolving, hip-hop will live forever.
And it's interesting y'all said about how y'all came up with Gotti, because a lot of people don't know about Gotti when he used to go by Lil Yo. And he was like 13, 14 when he really got into the game in terms of, like, you know, when he put out his, you know, first mixtape, you know, and even ultimately his Hard to Find Now first album, From the Dope Game to the Rap Game, you know. Yeah. You know, so it's like, you know, but to see these guys really come up, you know, I hear so much love and adoration and respect, you know, for, you know, you're definitely not the mad rappers who are like, you know, who, you know, but it's like you have so much of a paternal, you know, fatherly, you know, type of, you know, beaming for like, yo, these are the kids that, you know, came up behind me, and I'm, you know, just watching them grow. You know, you know, you talked about with Gotti. Did you see Gotti? What was it about Gotti that really you saw was going to make him really special?
Man, Gotti had the street. He had the song. You know, he was Lil Yo. I think he was doing songs and stuff with Skinny Pimp. You know, back in the day, but he really didn't really break out shine. Yeah, he was the first person to put him who recorded Gotti. But Gotti didn't really get his big break until I think it was the first thing that I was hit to him on. I fucking bitch, and I'm gonna tell you about it. It blew up like a motherfucking mess. Everybody was singing that song, you know. And I knew then that he was something special. He was gonna go far with his team and how he was moving. And we eventually ended up doing a song with Gotti on a St. Nick's album, Lil Nick's album, this Prophet Posse, man. Rolling with my posse.
Oh, wow.
St. Nick, man, it's a song with Koopsta nigga doing the chorus, me and Scan, Pastor Troy, and it's called Rolling with My Posse, man. So we had that opportunity to do a song with Gotti.
Man, and what's a writing session normally like for y'all? What's a writing session normally like in terms of putting together a song and then actually, you know, writing lyrics for it?
Man, half the time, man, we write, half the time we don't. You know, our recording sessions be so crazy, man. It ain't no telling what gonna go on during the recording session.
Just that spot to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the song is and what we're talking about, and you know what we need to make that song happen. So you know. But you know, we all
studio be cloudy, you know. Studio be a little cloudy, you know.
We all doing our thing on our own, so you know it works out. Yeah.
Now, Mac, yesterday I was looking at through your Instagram, and I actually caught an instant flashback when you posted up the track list or the guest feature list to the Tear the Club Up Thugs album. That took me back to high school where you guys, I mean, that's just a star-studded lineup y'all guys had. I'm talking Too Short, Spice One, the Hot Boys, Crucial Conflict, Fatal Hussein, Rest in Peace, Twister, Project Pat, the Big Timers, Gangsta Boo.
How did that come together?
Well, that was the Tear the Club Up Thugs album. I think when Relativity went to Loud, or changed over with Loud, and then Paul and Jay, you know, just jam-packed that album full of, you know, fools that we grew up listening to. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. It was like, man, you know, we got Twist on this album, man. We got Too Short. We got Spice One. We got, like, dang, you know, all the fools that we grew up listening to, you know, doing a song, and we just got blessed to be on that album. You know what I'm saying? We did the Posse song, the Hypnotized Camp, the Prophet Posse song, and yeah, it was amazing, man. You know what I'm saying? It was real good times. Kind of opened the doors up for Memphis 10, man. To be like, yeah, we do songs with legends too. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the first time ever I think in Memphis that so many came together on one album, or one album for all these great albums. I didn't listen to back in the day and shit. So you know. Yeah, it was a big accomplishment for me.
Was you guys a little nervous?
You can step on your resume that can last forever. It can never be changed.
Right.
Was you guys a little nervous, or you know?
What was that?
Yeah, he was asking. Scan-man was asking y'all, were y'all a bit nervous when y'all was rocking with some of these guys, or y'all just treated like, oh, is this a peer?
I mean, in some small ways, you're gonna get excited because them folks who you was listening to before we got out there, or even started doing our little thing we were doing. So, yeah, you know, because those some of the people we looked up to. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, when we recorded, playing while you're hating.
No, go ahead. We're just gonna say sorry about that. We're just gonna say.
Yeah, we was actually in the studio when E.G. and David and Lil Wayne and the whole Hot Boys clique, Big Timers all came to Memphis and filmed the video. Juvenile,
dude, yo, when I saw that video, man,
we met the whole clique. We was in the studio. While they were recording that song. You know what I'm saying? They came back and filmed the video. So it was just wild times. It was crazy. But they weren't there just saying their big deal. I think they just found the big deal and was just getting out there with the Juvenile hot song. You know what I'm saying? It was real hot thing. You know what I'm saying? Juvenile at first started getting on. All these cats, they pulled up in a tour bus at Cotton Row Studio one night. That was cool.
And tell us about that
put
time
the people
period.
on the game. Yeah, I was going to say too, in terms of that album too. And my apologies, T-Max, but
no, you good.
Going to that a lot of that last song, man, when you guys was up there with 360 and y'all used that Omen sample, y'all scared the shit out of a lot of people when I played it at my house, man. I swear, they didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, that horror. Oh, player, horror was in it.
I had to tell you all that before I got it, before I forgot.
Okay, now they didn't kick y'all ass. Whatchamacallit for using that sample, did and they go y'all way through that. I said they ain't beat y'all ass on that sample players, did they?
Nah.
Not that I know of.
Nah, we ain't getting no backlash from it.
We just rapped on the track. We didn't produce that one.
Okay, gotcha.
Niggas like, that's not on us,
just the writers.
We know we don't own the right.
He's like, we just rapped on it. We had nothing to do with everything else.
Like, it's not on us to clear the track. That's on the producer.
But definitely,
it was a classic.
But what King was saying about that album, and we're laughing.
You keep going in and out, T-Mac.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you now. You keep going in and out. Pause.
Yeah, but as we reminisce and laugh about it and just, smile, that album was momentous because to get everybody on there like that, I mean, how does the perfect storm happen where you have a label absorption and everybody comes together for that? I can't even see nothing like that nowadays happening where you have that type of album with that many different artists from that many different regions, from Oakland to Memphis to New Orleans, all coming. From Houston, Chicago, everybody coming together. I mean, how does that happen?
Oh, man. Paul and Juice was a label head, man. You know what I'm talking about? So they made that little situation happen.
Yeah, you would be surprised. They would come back to the studio and be like, man, you would never guess who I spoke to, man. We spoke to such and such. We spoke to Too Short. He heard of us. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. He told the Twister. He loved 36 Mafia. You know what I'm saying? We finna do a song with it. It was like that. I remember Juice saying that, put on real man. And I knew then it was on and popping. You know what I'm saying? World Domination already went gold, tell the club over just like the icing on the cake. They were waiting for the next album. Don't push over to the next level and go platinum. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Yeah, and I could tell too when listening to that album, I could tell that the sound became more polished. Like listening from the transition from the World Domination joint to set the club up to when the smoke clears, I could tell the sound became more polished.
Yeah, you're right, because it wasn't working out of other studios anymore. Hypnotized Mind had their own studios, had their own engineers, own producers, you know, outside of Paul and Juice. Musicians that knew how to play the keyboard and program certain things that were awesome at it. So they were networking and had real, you know, guitarists coming in, real vocalists coming in singing, and you know, there's a difference between having to rent out a studio, then you got your own studio where you can sit there and polish. You need time to polish. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I mean, and also from what you talked about in terms of the polish and in terms of the progression, how everything was becoming more and more fluid in terms of it. How from those times of the business, how have you seen everything change now in terms of how the labels deal with artists now and just overall record business in general? How has it changed from all of y'all's perceptions and observances?
Man, it changed in a major way. But see, now, you know, record labels acted as the third wheel. You feel what I'm saying? But see, now, you know what I'm talking about? You can reach your fans just by a click of a button. You know what I'm talking about? They can reach you just by a click of a button. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
I get so many messages today, just people just clicking in, just, hey, Scan-man, what you doing? Hey, Scan-man, hey, you know what I'm talking about? And just to click back, just say hey back to them. That makes they look better. You know what I'm saying? So these days you can reach your fans and other opportunities that wasn't there at first. They're there now compared to back then. So it's way different. You gotta roll with the times. So that ain't no rewinding.
Yep.
Now, do you think because of social media the way that it is, do you think some artists feel like that substitutes for actually getting out there for the hard work, and especially because, you know, as y'all said earlier, you know, this is something you really have to dedicate yourself to for better or for worse and be ready for what comes. And some artists think because they have 50 or 100,000 followers, you know, King, Sandman, myself, Chinchilla, we talked on this show ad nauseum about how sometimes, and this is not in y'all case because you all have like legions of fans, but for a lot of these local artists, you know, who are still starting out, or even some who are moderately, you know, popular, they got all these fans. They say, yeah, I got all this. But then, you know, when actual shows come in, they don't have that type of audience like they thought they did, you know, which leads me to say sometimes those followers don't always translate to real fans. For a lot of the upcoming artists out here, what do you have to tell them about how you have to push your product and how you constantly have to be in touch with your people, your fans, and really interacting and, like you said, going out kissing the babies, all that, meeting the people?
Yeah. I mean, you know, what I've seen from the rap game, man, everybody woke out their own little niche. You know, the way you know rappers did it back probably in the early '80s. Wonder how the rappers did it in 2000. You know what I'm saying? DJ can put their speakers outside and scratch and leave the MC out there with the mic and all that. You try that right now in one of these neighborhoods, the police coming. You know what I'm saying? You know, now, you know, and everybody got their own marketing and promotion tool. Look at Tekashi 6ix9ine. This fool done used, you know, Instagram for trolling rappers kind of like 50 Cent did when he first came out. Just attacked everybody in the top 10. You know, everybody used their own little thing, it seems like to me, to get their followers up. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, you know, something in the media, something that goes along with them releasing the album, put them over that level of stardom and getting followers and fans and all that shit. So, but everybody work out their own basket, man. But definitely, they follow those essential blueprints.
And you all hit on something that And you all hit on something that I want to ask you as well about, you know, Tekashi in terms of trolling. Shout out to OG Bezel down in New Orleans. That was one of our most famous that was one of my most favorite and funniest interviews we ever did. Because OG spoke about, how a lot of rappers, may talk that shit, and he's like in the South, it's a whole different set of politics if you start talking about people.
Yeah, they want to see you. Yeah, they want to see you.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah, man, you may get shot over a rap beat. I was just the hip. Oh, damn, man, you should have told me. Now you in ICU. God damn, rap.
And I'm laughing because I'm thinking about, yeah.
But it's when we tell people, we were saying this for a lot of shows. It's like it's different out here in the South, man. Like a lot of the shenanigans, it wouldn't pull out here.
Oh man, oh man. Really, you really had to get rap that street stuff, man. They want to see if you really street back in the day. You know what I'm saying? With us, with me, it's gonna always be somebody who try you to see if you really, you know what I'm saying? What do you rap about? Oh, this nigga, he ain't me doing this. I want to see if he really doing it. So you gotta be prepared for what comes with it. You gotta, shit. You gotta live by your rep. You know what I'm saying?
Did you all have that problem?
You had to get our name out there.
Did you all have that problem in terms of dealing with any haters on that level, or was it basically the music was pretty much all your focus during that time?
No, man, we had this shit all the time.
True animal.
Like Mac said. I mean, you gon' for every 100 people that like you, at least 50 of them ain't gonna like you. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Yeah, shit's crazy.
But listen to the music. I had several instances. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, whether it's with baby mamas or dudes just in the street want to try you to see, if you go really living by them lyrics. You know what I'm saying? They'll try you.
And seeing that
we would have built on talking about you guys and y'all independent projects, man, because y'all dropped some indie joints like the self-titled Kamikaze, The Only Strong Survive. Like, what are your favorites out of those?
Kayyos, you want to answer one? We got Total Kayyos on the line, too. I don't think he answered the question yet.
Go ahead, Kayyos. Go ahead.
What was the question, man?
Yeah, what was your favorite out of the indie projects you guys had worked on?
Me personally, I don't have no favorite.
So basically, they all hold on to the test of time.
Yeah, they all pretty much hard to me. But I got a couple of favorites, man. Like It's Whatever Down South. Too Much Anna. Shit, man, it was a lot, man. We working out the M-Child album, man. We had a lot of cool little bangers back in the day. Cool little bangers.
What M-Child up to these days?
Man, M-Child said he was through with rapping. M-Child on his religious role right now, so, much respect.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but he good though. He's super good.
Yeah, we had to ask about that because M-Child had one of the hardest verses on that Wet Party joint. That verse there was crazy.
Yeah, M-Child rocked on them.
But, for y'all to be distinguished veterans of the game like y'all have, and still doing it strong, how do you feel about, some of the young guns coming in talking about how, the pioneers don't have a place in the game anymore when the pioneers are the ones that laid down the path for the young ones to follow? Why do you think hip-hop is... Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just the ones that really don't know, you know what I'm saying, or don't respect game, so they really ain't looking forward to the future, because, there's always somebody who did it before them, like this quote say, I wouldn't be here today if the old school hadn't paid the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and,
right.
You know, they don't recognize that. They won't be around that much longer. You know what I'm saying? Be hot for a little while. But calm as a motherfucker.
But the one thing, though, I don't need nobody to validate what I done did. I know what I done did. You know what I'm talking about? History to itself. You know what I mean? So I let them talk. Just let them talk.
And it's interesting in what you just said about how, you know, they may have their little thing, but they fade away. Where do you see a lot of artists today where some of them have a hit or two, but then they end up fading out, where as opposed to y'all, you have classics that are immortal? Where do you think the paradigm of the rhyme has kind of gone astray, where a lot of artists, not all, because there's some out there like Davies, you know, shout out to him. Of course, you know, a lot of the, you know, of course, out in the West, you got Cam in China, you got AD, you know, down south, you know, you still got a lot of young heads, you know, of course, Currency down in New Orleans is still doing his thing.
Yeah.
But some of the new artists coming out, man, who really just get a little bit of the Instagram famous or the YouTube get 1 million views, but then they're out like yesterday's news. Where do you see where a lot of them are lacking in terms of putting their music together and, you know, really making it something that is going to have a legacy behind it?
Yeah, Total Chaos, he can chime in on that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, no.
Okay, y'all.
Yeah, I was making sure I could get Total Chaos to chime in on some questions as well. We also want to have him involved too.
Right.
Yes. What's the question?
Just about how a lot of the younger artists today, you know, coming in, they don't always polish their craft, concentrate on their craft as they should with their songs. They may have a hit song, but the album isn't a great follow-up, and then they kind of end up like yesterday's news. Where do you see the difference in terms of how a lot of today's artists, you know, not all but some, don't really sometimes dedicate themselves to the craft and the culture like they should in terms of, you know, making great music?
They just not going to make it, man. That's it. They just ain't going to make it.
Do you think a lot?
That's a pretty,
go ahead.
That's a pretty broad. Well, it's not a broad question, but it is to see for one thing, what works for one person ain't gonna work for the next. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got some people,
right.
You know, you got a lot of YouTubers and shit who getting like bukus of fucking hits and this, that, and making money off of them. Somebody else will put the same type of shit up and not get shit. You know what I'm saying? So, first of all, if they ain't working on their craft, if they ain't in the studio or whatever it may be you doing, if you ain't working on your craft, you ain't gonna make shit no way. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well just hang it. That's whatever you're doing, cooking, prostituting, selling drugs, whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't working, you ain't gonna do shit no way. First of all, you gotta work. That's the number one thing. You gotta stay consistent. You gotta stay a present. You gotta come to let folks hear your shit. You gotta come and just keep putting out shit. One day somebody gonna bite on you. It's like when you go fishing, you throw that hook out there in the water. You might not catch something for the next 2-3 days, but one day a fish gonna bite.
Oh yeah.
That's some real shit to say. That's real. That is real. Because, like you said, you got to keep pushing. Because I instantly thought of Griselda when you said about how you just got to keep that fishing until you get with the bait until, you know, you get that fish biting. To watch them, they, you know, come out of Buffalo, you know, pretty much before they came out of Buffalo, the only thing people knew about Buffalo was Rick James and Buffalo Wings. And now, you know, Griselda is like really, you know, shout out to Benny Westside and Conway, of course, with Keisha Plume, the poet villain goddess. Shout out to City Boy. I mean, they got a real movement out there, you know, and it took them like, you know, 5-6 years, and they've been doing it 16 years altogether. But like in the past 5-6 years, they like really have, you know, made that way. What has it been like for y'all on the independent circuit in terms of having that freedom and, you know, just really being able to move how y'all want to move, as opposed to not having a major dictate y'all fate.
Yeah, but one, we got to give a big shout out to Selecto Hits too, who always, had our back through the independent days when we fell from 3-6. We always had an outlet, for our music to get distributed. They took a chance on us and signed a distribution deal back in '99 or 2000 when we brought out the third from the South Side. You know what I mean? And since then, we always had an outlet for us to distribute our music. You know what I'm saying? And,
right.
Even before then, Memphis had our own sound. Even when we didn't have distribution here in Memphis, when cats like Gangsta Pat had to go to Priority or out of town to get music heard and on the radio and whatnot, we always had stereo stores and the corner stores and all these little novelty stores that would sell our music, which established the Memphis sound. So Memphis is always, like you said earlier, has always been on the foundation of arts and creativity, man, and athletes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something about this Memphis, maybe something in the water. I don't know. But a lot came from Memphis. Al Green,
right?
Stacks, Mafia, Stacks, yeah, man, the whole thing. Barcade, you name it, man. All been it, man. Something about this Memphis weather, man.
Yeah, and what about
the energy that will keep it flowing?
You say what now?
It's that Memphis energy that keeps it flowing, because it goes from generation to generation to generation. It got that blues to it as well, that soulness to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. We got the pimping back in the day. Yeah, man.
You guys got like so many different layers.
BB King, man.
Got the crump to it, then you got the soulfulness to it. It's like there's so many different diverse of layers to the Memphis sound.
Right. We try to keep it involved.
Definitely.
We always get the pimping too, though. You know what I'm saying? Memphis has always been known for having that pimping in it. Sampling Al Green or the Isley Brothers, and that was one of our trademarks too. Especially on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? We all ride to the park or ride downtown. All you heard was pimping coming out of cars back in the day. Old school, like Lamont Dozier and Willie Hutch and Bobby Blue Bland. I mean, all these guys, man. And we incorporated in our music in certain songs. You know what I'm saying? To give us when we take a break for the crumpets, we'll hit them with the pimping. You know what I'm saying? Yep.
Now we're gonna take it. Now, definitely taking a break from the music for a second. What about sports out there? Because, of course, y'all got the Memphis Tigers out there, man. I mean, tell us about sports culture out there. And, and of course, as being, MCs, I know y'all got y'all love for sports out there, too. What was it like being a sports fan out there?
I'm going to let Scan tell you about that. He was a sportsman. That was a clip.
Okay.
Man, I ain't just really no sports fan. I played basketball and shit. Had a basketball scholarship and shit. Went to Three Rivers Community College on a basketball scholarship. But one thing about Memphis folks are die-hard fans, man. For whatever team they rooting for, they die hard. I don't care who it is.
Yeah. Now, what high school did you go to? Now, did you go? Now, in terms of your high school, did you go to Treadwell? What high school did you go to?
I went to Briarcrest.
Okay, all right, because I know about Treadwell down there. That's where Hardaway went to.
Yeah, that was Penn.
No, I went to Briarcrest. That's the other side of the Scan-man right there.
Okay.
That's the other side right there. That's a totally different interview right there.
Hey, look, this is off the cuff, man. We talk about all things.
But Scan was cold at basketball. Don't let him be home now. Scan was cold at basketball. This nigga played against.
Let us find out. We might have to do that.
Let him know, man. Let him know. He might play any quick.
Yeah, I was all right, man. I had my time back in the day, man. I played against some good NBA players like Kobe, Chris Hamilton, all them little cats like that. So I had my little time in sports when I was a young.
Oh, okay. And looking back, how do you compare, the rap game in terms of the athletic game? How do those two compare in terms of competition?
Good question.
It's both the same thing, man. Because in sports and music, that shit go hand in hand for me. Because you competing with other groups, other acts, other people. You competing with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it go hand in hand. Except both of them, you gotta be physically ready for it. You know what I'm saying? To travel and jump on the stage each night, jumping up and down and shit. Jumping around and shit, and get on the basketball court, run up and down the court. So they both go hand in hand. And then it's business. A lot of money involved, though.
Look, the money always be the issue to make to be moving it, man. And I mean, pretty much
money is always motivating.
Now, I wanted to shoot y'all this question here. I'm glad I have you guys on here since y'all repping the M-Town. Now, do you guys feel that when John Singleton shot Hustle and Flow, that was a true representation of what Memphis is all about when it comes to the music scene?
Not all the way. You know what I'm saying? I think he got only a couple of perspectives on that movement, but
okay,
not all the way. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause everybody got their own story to tell.
Got you.
But it was somewhat, rendition of Skinny Pimp and Gangsta Black and maybe Squeaky and getting perspective from Paul and Juicy and by them being right there with John Singleton and Craig Brewer, they got pretty much, maybe a couple of opinions or a couple of feedbacks on how that portion grew up, how they came up in the game. When he probably could have reached out just a little more, maybe reached out to a couple more artists and made it fuller. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it was cool though. Man, not knocking it though, because it did open the doors up for Memphis in a lot of ways, I feel. So shout out to rest in peace to John Singleton. Shout out Craig Brewer for what he did for the game, for Memphis music.
Yeah, because I think Hustle and Flow, man, that movie really, from a level of the music game, while it was set in, Memphis specifically, I think it showed in general, how you really got to move in order to get it out there, because, it's one of them things that, I mean, for there's like so many more different stories in terms of how, everything, was just, I mean, what is it like just in terms of just trying to make it in the game? I mean, a lot of people talk about how they bosses, they're ready for anything. But from what you've observed over the years, are a lot of people really prepared for what this industry is going to do in terms of how much it takes out of you and what you really have to put into it to really make it?
Nah, man, it takes a special kind of motherfucker, man, to make it in this business, man. I'm talking about you especially got to be strong-minded. So if you ain't strong-minded, this shit will break you, man. And I'm talking about eat you, chew you up, shit you out, spit you out, whatever it's going to do if you ain't strong-minded to this shit.
And the cold part about the business, too, is when you fall out with the people you come out with. And it usually be the ones that's closest to you.
Yeah, that's when that money get involved then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only entertainment. Stay strong, man. Okay, and let them know it's money out here to be made in it. And just gotta keep going, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep making waves, get paid, and just keep pushing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Be ready for it.
And what you said about it's only entertainment, do you think a lot of times as some artists get ahead in it, do you think a lot of times a lot of them begin to think they're more than what they are in terms of, letting the success go to their heads, which really can corrupt
the
whole.
Of course, man. We have seen it. We've seen it. Yeah.
Without naming names, what was one of the worst situations that you saw in terms of that happening? Without naming names.
Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure. I've seen cats come from like what was that movie? Casino. Where fools said, man, you changed.
Yeah.
What you mean I changed? You out here looking like Drew Barrymore. You got your cigarette and a cigarette over. You got a silk robe on to the studio, nigga.
He's looking like John fucking Barrymore, a pink robe.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get too deep in this. We seen that happen. Yeah.
They hit you with the infamous Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro line from Casino.
Yeah, man. Everybody. You seen all this turn to go into what's the guy, man? The Temptations, man. He was David Ruffin, man. There was a bunch of David Ruffins in Memphis, man. Bunch. Everybody was David Ruffin. Did nobody want to be the guys, man?
Nobody wanted to be Otis.
Nobody want to be Otis. Man, I swear.
Oh wow, that's
funny,
man. But y'all, but to hear the stories that y'all have told us, I mean, you all are veterans in the game who really, really have learned a lot, and still have so much to teach, and going forward, I mean, pretty much as, because you all still have, I mean, y'all still got plenty of energy and so much to say. What's like the next move for y'all going forward in terms of like just, the next 10, the next 15,000 steps ahead?
Right, we got this brand new Kaze Inc album, man. It's gonna be the future, man. I feel that joint is probably our best work yet, man. The Spirit Wind album. The first single we lit, which y'all played on the show, was just a teaser of what got to come, man. And Scan got brand new solo projects. I may bring out a Piranha Volume 7 or something like that, or and keep collabing, keep working, man. But proof in the pudding, man. The more stuff you put on the wall, something gonna stick, and you never know what's gonna materialize in the future from what you placed up there, man. And especially, the love of music gonna keep me going forever. I'll probably be 50 years old still dropping, or at least coaching some young cats. You know what I'm saying?
Is there anybody that
inspiration?
Y'all gonna have any noteworthy features on that thing?
No. We just, man, we solo on it right now. Just a Kamikaze member.
Yeah, man. Yep. We got Total Chaos. We got a Pimp Teddy on there. Rest in peace, Lil Core, of course, man. Rest in peace. So we got some of the original members, man, came out and showed love, and we definitely got some dope material.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Rock.
Collaboration between all of us. It's been a minute since we did an album, so we just wanted just to be us on this project right here for this first one, because there's plenty more coming.
Now I just had a question submitted to me by somebody from Texas. Whoever named anonymous. I ain't gonna put your name out there, but they want to know what you guys' current relationship with Hypnotized Minds right now. Y'all in good terms?
We all right. We cool. I mean, we see him. What's up? What's going on with you? How you doing? Everything. It's all right. Ain't no bad blood nowhere. Not with me. If anybody else got it, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So,
no, I don't. Like I said, I don't harbor no hate.
No.
And of course, the business is the business part of music. You know what I'm saying? Business should never break up friendships. You know what I'm saying? I feel there's no problems. There's only solutions. And I really appreciate the doors that were opened up. You know what I'm saying? Because without Hypnotized, it wouldn't be the Memphis music that it is now. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta give props for props to do, and we was a part of it. So. Of course, man, we're always going to be brothers. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what we're doing, we family. So, families have disagreements sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We may argue together. You know, but we made history together. So history can never be changed, and we all grown. You know what I'm saying? We were young back then, so history can't be changed.
And I think
unless you delete it off your phone when you're looking at Pornhub. Damn.
But that's real what y'all said about in terms of the history can't be changed, because a lot of times, we've seen situations happen over the years with a lot of artists who there are very, very public disagreements, and sometimes they don't always resolve themselves in a very mature and amicable fashion. You guys just have a humility about yourselves where even if there's an issue, you don't let it get to the point where it gets to become a personal issue in terms of because when it gets personal, and we've seen throughout hip hop history, when issues get personal with people, that's when the shit gets
ATMD.
Yeah. No, man. If we can't sit down and talk about it like men, man, then I don't need you around me no way. So, it is what it is.
There you go.
Yeah. But that's something that but that's something that for you all to maintain the friendship and the tightness you all have had over these years, I think is really something, because not many groups are able to maintain that level of camaraderie the way y'all have, in a context of, still, treating it like the first day together and enjoying each other's company. Sometimes egos get in the way, like you said earlier, sometimes you get the roughing in the group that wants to think that they're bigger than the group, and everybody they're like, okay, yeah, I'm the star of this. There's none of that with you all. There's no competition. There's no jealousy. There's no envy. There's no there's none of that.
We passed the egos, man.
Yeah, man.
We way past the egos. Now I ain't gonna lie to you, man. We all got, during the course of our career, we all got to a point, man, where I let egos and shit get in the way. You know what I'm saying? But life has a way of busting that ass down, though. So
stay humble and don't fumble.
Yeah. Competition.
Be humble and don't fumble.
We do get is friendly competition. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Friendly
Put
competition.
yourself to the best. Yeah, man.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you I'm finna out-bump you. I wouldn't be doing my job of making you better. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
It was about friendly competition, man. You know what I'm talking about?
And I got to salute Kayyos, man, for bringing the idea back around, man. We should do another Kaze Inc album. We were kind of pondering the idea, what we should do. How can we bring to another Inc album? Since we just once we got in there, man, we all brought the heat to the table, man, and the whole energy was still there. We had a blast recording it. So some things will never change, I feel.
Nah. So outside of music, and during the intern, when you all were kind of just having your regular time, just living, doing the family thing, living a regular lives. What's the regular life for y'all in terms of family and just daily life? Because I think a lot of times people have the impression of that being a hip hop legend, a star, that is your life is lit, is constantly just groupies and all types of everything. That these are all real. Yeah, these are real people. They got real lives to go on.
Yeah.
No, you gotta
separate.
You gotta have that balance, man. You gotta have that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes Superman gotta take his cape off.
Man, he got to, man. You gotta be Clark Kent every now and then.
Yeah, man, for sure. Gotta know that balance, man. That's why I don't let a lot of my family members on a lot of my social sites. I know, my fans and all. You know what I'm saying? My fans, got some wild fans out there. So, I don't let one of my family members in. You know what I'm saying? Not on my site, unless they want to buy something. You feel me? And that's true. I mean, the truth be known on the show.
Business.
You feel me? That's just how it is with me. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you may see something on there. God, dog, man, you got a girl with her legs wide open. Yeah, you see that, but did you read the description? I'm trying to sell these masks. It's COVID out here.
Some of the promo work is like sometimes it's not suitable for kids. So it's like, oh, all right, you got to create like 3 or 4 different pages. Even I had to do that when it comes to marketing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So the strategy, man. That's the strategy in place.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, too, like you said, a lot of times some artists get too caught up in it. And it's like, at the end of it, it's entertainment, and, it's always got to be that line drawn because we've seen, and a lot of people really don't understand this, no matter what color you are, no matter what genre of music. We've seen what's happened with Jim Morrison. We saw what happened with Jimi Hendrix. Rest in peace to DJ Screw. Rest in peace to Camouflage.
Right.
We've seen everything from drugs and violence in terms of how a lot of these guys get out there, and these are situations you don't always get to come back from.
Right.
And I think that's something that, there has to be some type of foundation, and like I said, y'all just got a humility about it. You all have mastered that in terms of, like King said, separating your professional life from your personal life where it doesn't intermingle. And you all genuinely sound happy in terms of where you are right now and just being able to still do what you do, which is a true blessing because no matter what some naysayers may try to say, the hip-hop community, the universe at large, still needs guys like y'all. If nothing else, for the positive spirit y'all bring to the game in terms of really understanding it from all sides. So don't never let don't let nobody tell y'all don't have a place in it because y'all do. Y'all could give a lot of y'all could give a lot of people lessons about how to manage it, man, because, it's we've seen this game self-destruct a lot of people. We see Tekashi, doing what he's doing on social media and, here at Off the Cuff, we can get wild and crazy like Steve Martin and Chevy Chase, but we also love and respect the culture, and we also are concerned about humanity at large, no matter who you are, even if people fuck up shit like he did. And the fact is that he's thinking that all of this shit right now that he's doing is fun and games for celebrity. I'm like, nigga, you still gotta, you gotta remember, you did drop dime on a whole bunch of people, and they're still just because you're living it good right now.
That's an interesting topic at hand. We're about going into snitch culture because, man, and the times we came up, cause we came up around listening to you guys' music and stuff. I remember being a rat was like being the next to lowest of scum, and now you got the rat being celebrated as a badge of honor, which is crazy times we living in.
Yeah, glorified.
Yeah, man. Yep. Crazy, man. Crazy times. Definitely, man. Even crazy. You get out of jail and then still do the numbers, Really surprised. Hey, who knows what these majors are putting their money behind nowadays?
That's true though.
Who knows?
It's crazy to me because I'm like, man, the man literally admitted he's a rat, and he doing bigger numbers.
Yeah, they embraced it, used it, and brung about telling it. It's crazy, bro. But
now, one thing that seems
to
be prevalent out there is the gangster walk culture, and I really got up on it because I've heard it before, but when I seen Gangsta Boo do her song about it, tell us about that whole street culture out there, about how y'all really get down on the block out there, and how that walk became like really a staple of the culture, the Memphis culture.
Nice. Started off almost like a mosh pit. People was just marching around in a circle. When you saw that happening, you knew a fight was about to break out eventually. It was almost like a mosh pit. And then, it's several variations of the gangster walk started coming out. Then you had the Trigger Man gangster walk. Then you had, the buck jump. Then you had juking. You know what I'm saying? So it evolved over the years, man. You know what I'm saying? There's certain like I said, we had our own dances, we had our own styles back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And even now, the gangster walking elevated to this. The young cats doing, they still doing some of the original moves, but they mutated into look like ballet moves. Kind of what they doing now, moving the legs. You know, it's a bomb, just like you know. You know what it is though. It's all Memphis though. Number love. I salute the gangster walkers out there, man. What up, man?
Definitely.
Doc Quincy and Lil Wolf, man. Pioneers of the gangster walking Memphis, man. Pee-wee. Oh.
Because I mean, when you look at it, because it's funny because, you know, when we look at hip-hop, you know, for anybody that knows the culture, we know that, you know, dancing, a.k.a. b-boying, is like one of the main tenays of it, you know, in terms of, you know, New York, we have breakdancing, of course. L.A. had their own style of breakdancing. I mean, if we really going to get deep into it, I mean, we even got gang culture, you know, crip walking and blood skipping. You know, I mean, everybody, you know, in terms of the music or repping your hood, everybody got their way of doing it. That dude in Gangsta Boo video who was doing it, I mean, this nigga had it down cold in terms of the way. Look, I thought this nigga was Sub-Zero the way he was so cold on moving and sliding. I'm like, yo, it's like, I'm like, look, the North Pole was sweating the way he was so cold with it. They like, damn, niggas colder than us with this shit. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
But how did
it's all hip hop, man. You know what I'm saying? Dance records. You know what I'm saying? Had the gangster walk song back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think it's all part of our culture, man. You know what I'm saying? We always bring out them dances. Even back in the old school days, they had their own dances. Take a tail feather. You had the Smurf. You had the Network, and all these dances that came out with these certain songs. You know what I'm saying? Like Pee Wee Herman. You know what I'm saying? Pee Wee Herman was a dance back in the day. They had the song. So it's just culture of hip hop.
Definitely. Now, for anybody that makes it down to Memphis, what are some of the record stores they need to hit? What are some of the eateries they need to hit? Just some of the scenes, you know, in terms of, you know, all the places. Huh?
Record stores obsolete.
Yeah, we got one
record stores out here.
We got one record store. It was Poplar and Highland. It was the last of the record stores.
Oh, man.
More like a novelty, sell vinyl and stuff. Man, with the COVID on, man, you can't even go to the bars. I would say Beale Street. Beale Street, man. Popping spot. You know what I'm saying? They come to Memphis. They come to Memphis for Beale Street now barbecue. But now, all Beale Street, be very careful.
Definitely. How have y'all been?
And you know what's also dope about Memphis, too, because I also had a cousin that stayed out there. He also told me y'all have a crazy car culture as well, because he told me that he used to see cats riding with Chucky dolls tied to the back of the trunk.
Yep.
All types of wild stuff like that.
Right, yeah. That was a fad, too. Yep. They were riding around with the Chucky dolls and riding around with the Jason mask, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Outlaw. I think he down there started that in Memphis. with the Michael Myers mask.
Horror movies.
Riding box Chevys and
to build off that question, y'all big on horror movies as well?
Man, real big on horror movies.
Oh yeah. Man, I did my paper in high school, man. That's where they send you here paper, man, serial killers. I think my English teacher thought I was crazy.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I did my final exams on serial killers. I wrote about David Berkowitz, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, man. So you wrote about Son of Sam? Yeah, Son of Sam, and Jeffrey Dahmer in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Serial killers. I love it. All right, you know, yeah, man, all this.
God, dog. I mean, but one thing about it, I think, is also too, you know, I think that also showed that you weren't, even if it was what some would say was a morbid interest, it was still something that you found interesting that you were doing the math on, and well, not the math so much, but the knowledge in terms of, you know, what interested you. And I think for any MC at large, which you all are, no matter what you study, you know, if we really go into the horrorcore of it. We got guys like Esham. We had the Flatliners back in the day. Of course, Brother Lynch Hung.
Yep.
So, even Necro. You have Necro. But one thing about it is, whatever your interest of hip-hop is, I think it's always important that whatever genre of, whether it be gangster, whether it's horrorcore, whether it be booty, bass music, trap music, I think it's always important to understand, the nuances in terms of all the elements that go into it. At the end of the game, it's all hip-hop no matter what.
Yeah, entertainment, man. Yep, so you right. Yep.
Cool. But yeah, man, we got to probably wrap this up shortly, man. So, are there any shout-outs you guys want to give out?
Yeah, man, I want to shout out everybody, man, who's been rocking with the movement, man, Kaze Inc, man. He's looking out for the new album, man. Shout out to everybody, to all the listeners, man. Me, DJ X, man. King Eric, man, for having us on the show, man. It's always a pleasure, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like MC Mack. All everybody listening, y'all can follow your boy. Get at me on the Twitter, man. You know what I'm saying? MC number 4 Life on Twitter, Instagram there at MC MACK Music. Or you can shop at my online store, MC Mack store. Check out Kamikaze gear, buy the CDs. We got posters and all kind of merchandise at MC MACK store online, man. So check me out.
Definitely.
Shout out to all my real homies. Shout out to Kayyos. Shout out to Mack. Shout out to my homies off the Club Radio. Appreciate y'all for having us on this joint. Check out all our merch we got. Go check out Nephilim Music Store, www.Nephilim Music Store. Go get all your merch. Shout out to David Sinatra, my manager. And we
Yep.
Definitely, man. Look, we appreciate y'all so much. Shout out to y'all, man, for doing it. Over 25 years and still going strong, man. And like I said, once again, man, just keep doing it. The culture needs you. We're so privileged. We're so humble. And we definitely roll out the red carpet for whenever y'all want to come back, man, just to let us know what's going on and just to shoot the shit, man. But, look, y'all Memphis Tigers always welcome here, man. Y'all got to make it off the cuff, man. Believe that.
We'll come on whenever y'all need us, man. Whatever.
Yes, sir.
We're definitely going to stay in tune with y'all. Like, if y'all got any projects or you got any solos y'all want to promote, feel free to chime in. We definitely going to stay in touch.
Most definitely.
For sure.
I'm with it, man. Much love. Hell yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Big shout out also to Kayyos and Scan-man and Sage McKenzie. He was on the line, but I couldn't get him through. But OTG representing. We appreciate y'all calling up and pulling up. We appreciate all the callers and the listeners that chimed in on tonight's show. So this is King Eric signing out alongside T Max, and get that album when it drops. That Kamikaze Inc. Get that when it drops. Don't bootleg it either. We gonna whoop y'all ass.
I'm looking for the bootleggers. Yes, sir.
So yeah, on that note, we out of here. Holla at your boy.
Yep.
One.